Welcome into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. It's a beautiful day here in the heart of God's country, the 19th day of June, a Friday in the year of our Lord 2026. I pulled into the driveway. Well, the driveway, I guess that's what you say. Pulled into the parking lot at the international headquarters here, and it's a ghost town, Sky.
I understand the state is off today.
Did the state start taking off today,
Yes.
too? When
Yeah.
did that happen?
It's
That
going
Republican
on.
supermajority that is always terrible and awful. Look, today is Juneteenth.
Otherwise known as June 19th.
June the 19th, or the 19th day of June. Scott, if you bash Juneteenth, you're a terrible human being. I'm not bashing Juneteenth. I mean, look, it was a holiday that no one knew about a few years ago, including Black Americans, because I've asked Black Americans in Alabama, and they're like, "No, we never heard about that. No one told us about that growing up." Like, all these people on the news act like. I'm like, you're so full of crud. Just say, hey, we like this idea. We actually think the day is worth commemorating. We never really thought about it. We never really heard about it. Yes, they did something with it apparently in Texas or that part of Texas, but don't make it into something it was not, like you were observing the Passover since, the night before you left Egypt, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give a historical context in that, like, hey, we've been doing this for a couple of thousand years, and just now we're going to make it into some sort of national event. I mean, that's just not true. It's not what happened. It was a result of did it start before BLM? It started after the Missouri stuff, didn't it?
Right.
It started percolating after Ferguson, and then was locked in after the Summer of Love, the BLM riots, the mostly peaceful events that happened that summer of 2020, right? Am I wrong about that?
That's the setup. Federal troops arrived in Galveston in 1865.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make a federal holiday out of it.
Yeah.
So that's
Not the day when they arrived in like Vicksburg, Mississippi, and said, "Hey, we're all good." So I mean, look, again, I'm not begrudging anybody. I find it fascinating how it all occurred. And there's a number of people on social media, black, white, green, orange, all different races, kind of poking jabs at it, but they don't get in trouble like I would. Like I get in trouble for it.
Right.
Like one guy says, what is this, summer Kwanzaa? And it's a white guy and a black guy that do these things together. They make fun of each other. The black guy makes fun of white things, and the white guy makes fun of black things. The stereotypical kind of things.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Lots of material there to work
I
with.
mean, to poke
Sure.
fun, and they seem like really good guys, and it's the kind of thing that we need to help heal the country and the divides that are out there. And I know people get divided over things, but so I turned into the parking lot, and it is a ghost town because my parking lot is in Birmingham, Alabama. We're surrounded by a lot of law firms who are usually on the left, and so
I guess they're taking the day off too.
everybody took a day. It's a three-day holiday, and so interesting. So that's it. So happy Juneteenth or whatever it is what is going on, and Am I wrong? Somebody call me and tell me I'm wrong. Somebody call me and tell me that, look, I'm listening to you, Scott. And look, I maybe there are some people, but this blanket statement that, no, this is something we revered. It sounds like Kamala Harris talking about the stuff that, she said her family did when she was young. I think she said she celebrated Kwanzaa, and she was too old to have celebrated Kwanzaa because Kwanzaa was invented. So she didn't celebrate a holiday that had not been invented when she was young.
Yeah.
But it just sounded good. I mean, she didn't do her research.
You have to have your backstory.
It wouldn't surprise
your
me. I mean,
backstory
has Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez come out and said how she celebrated Juneteenth when she was young?
I haven't heard it yet, but I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't bet your
if she's
car
got
against it, would you?
Absolutely not. No. No.
I remember back when I was young. Oh my gosh.
She may have been there by now for all we know.
What's the movie The Jerk? Is it The Jerk?
Steve Martin.
Is that the movie where he says he was born a poor black child? Did I lose this guy?
Mississippi or somewhere like that.
Yeah, he froze out for a second.
Yeah, I got in trouble for quoting that one time.
Did you really?
Yeah, somebody said they didn't understand the reference. And they thought
they just thought you said it. But since you said it, it was terrible. But since you were saying something somebody else said.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Really?
Yeah.
Well, look, that's the thing.
Called in on me.
That's the thing. I mean, we all, again, with Juneteenth, I'm not mad about it at all. I'm for celebrate. I think it's a cool story. I really do.
No doubt about it.
And I like the significance. The thing that irritates me about it is people on the national news pretending like it was this undercover holiday. That, we had this holiday and finally the rest of the country, the mean over oppressors, said, yes, we'll recognize it. I'm just like, stop with that. Let's just say it's a cool day. Yes, let's recognize it and awesome. But it was foisted on the people of America.
It's manufactured.
Look, you must take this. If you do not agree with this, you're some sort of racist. And that's what they did to the Congress and to the Senate. And again, it was, all during Ferguson, BLM, Summer of Love, the whole 9 yards. You're an awful person. And there will be another issue that you'll have to do this to pass the litmus test. I remember one of them that when I was in the legislature, the big litmus test was, did the state pass an official apology for slavery?
I remember this.
And I was like,
you were there for that.
I was there for that.
Okay. All right.
I may be the only no.
You racist.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, there might have been a handful. I might have been the only person that spoke against it, but it was the one they ripped me to shreds for saying no one here, something along the lines of no one here was ever a slave. No one here's grandfather was probably ever a slave. And no one here was ever a slave owner, and no one here's grandfather was a slave owner, including the guys that were really old, because we did, we checked. And so what are we doing? Y'all, not y'all. And here's the thing about it. It wasn't a grassroots movement from the state of Alabama. The Alabama legislators who supported it in the newspapers and all those people, they didn't come up with that. It was a movement, and it was being forced through legislators across the country. You know how you know that?
How do you know that?
When states like California apologize, and they weren't states. They never had slavery.
Right.
So why is a state that never had slavery apologizing for slavery? Because I have no problem saying, hey, look, somebody, they're bad. I don't want to say our bad. I'm not going to say my bad because it's not my bad. It wasn't our bad of anybody I know. I can say, okay, they're bad. Hey, they look okay, fine. Mistakes made, we're sorry, whatever. But forcing people to just take a knee, I don't know if there's another way to say that, forcing people to take a knee because you have the political ability and you can kowtow them into a corner, that's what I had a problem with. I don't have a problem with saying, it was a terrible thing, that slavery was a terrible thing. Slavery is a terrible thing all over the world. The history of slavery is terrible. The history of the world is terrible. Murdering people is terrible.
Right. How many apologies can we come up with at that point? But what year was this, roughly?
Oh, golly, man, I can't.
Well, it's been
can't tell you. I got out in 2014.
Well, you can't argue with the results. Since we apologized for slavery, the healing has been complete.
Everything has gotten better.
It's gotten so much
you're
better.
Right. Education's gotten better. Economics have gotten better.
Racial relations
everybody's
have
getting
healed.
along better. Yes.
But that was never the design. It was to be like all these other programs and it's to be divisive.
Yes, and that's
it's not to bring us together.
That's the unfortunate part. And people are listening to this and they're like, well, Scott, you're being divisive. No, what I'm trying to do is, can we stop with the division? Just because I'm bringing up the things and people are like, well, I don't know why you're saying that. It didn't bother me at all. Well, you know what? It bothered a lot of people. A lot of people that it didn't even bother. And some people can call them and tell me, no, I didn't feel that way. If you rolled your eyes back in your head a little bit and you're like, geez, Louise, it bothered you. And I promise you, all types of people rolled their eyes back a little bit and were like, really? Even black Americans were like, really? Can't we just stop? I mean, I got my friends, I've got my family, we all get along. I see why do we have to always make things hard?
Yeah, we got to keep picking that scab so it doesn't heal.
Yeah, because people make money off of it.
Yeah,
and
it's
people,
big business.
And
it's
people
a whole
will
political
power
party
off of it. Yes.
It's based on it. So
Yep.
without that, what do they
So
got
anyway,
left?
so happy Juneteenth for everybody who's having to work and listen, and we appreciate you. So lots of stuff to do today. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in. Let's get out to your phone calls. The number here, 1-800-289-9228, 1-800-289-9228. Don't forget, you can check us out on YouTube. Just search for Scott Beason and go to the live tab. Let me say that one more time. Search. It did not do it. There was a ding over here, but I'm still hunting down the mystery ding. Let's go to Red Top. Red Top, welcome to the program. Happy Friday to you, and at least according to the board, happy Juneteenth to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just wish the sun would come out and stop raining because I'm being over-kudzued here. I'm outnumbered. The flies are taking it over.
A little bit of rain. How fast does kudzu grow? It's like 18 inches a day or something incredible like that?
At least. I've got some Tarzan vines I just pulled out as big as my wrist, buddy.
Really? You're kind of skinny.
Yes. No. There ain't nothing wrong with my damn wrist. Buddy, this is massive, and these things are 70 or 80 feet long.
That's crazy.
I've got 2 pulled out that are 40 feet long in my backyard right now. And you know what I do? I do artwork with it.
Do you really? Can you make some sort of, vine? What kind of art do you do with kudzu?
I have an arch on my front porch, which is woven out of kudzu in an arc.
That's kind of
looks
cool.
awesome.
I bet it does.
It is cool. I ain't never seen nothing like it. And I can see these vines because I got woods behind my house.
Mm-hmm.
And, kudzu is growing into my yard. It's a constant battle. Okay.
All right, let me give you the facts. According to the internet,
Okay.
1 foot a day. It can grow up to 1 foot a day. One root crown can send out as many as 30 vines, and primary roots can grow up to weighing 400 pounds.
Yes.
An
That's
invasive
what I'm dealing
species.
with.
Yeah,
By the way.
and the root can grow 3 centimeters a day, which is what, 1.5 inches, a little less,
Yeah.
into the soil per day.
Oh, yeah.
Brought to you by the U.S. government.
Yes.
By the way. Yeah. Great story.
And there's parts of Highland Gardens here. If you go down to the end of Gibson Street, close to Lower Wetumpka Road, the whole area, there's no houses. It's all covered with kudzu, up to 50, 60 feet up in the air, covering all the trees.
Yeah, the government brought it in after World War II to stop erosion.
That we caused from plowing all the way to the ditches and the creeks.
Yes, and they
Cutting
little
down
did
all
they
the
know
trees.
that kudzu was gonna be here a while.
But here's the thing: you go to China, and there's like whole valleys of just kudzu up the mountains, and it's just, and you're like, so who thought, hey, let's do that in the southeastern United States?
Another government program with
Gosh
unintended
almighty.
consequences. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Another great idea from people who sit around at their desk with nothing to do.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
You give them something to do. Now, we'll talk about Juneteenth. I do believe that was made a federal holiday in 2023.
You may be right about that.
Is it that
It's about
recent?
the right
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Maybe a little earlier. Let's see.
I'll check.
Not too much.
Uh-uh.
Because you're right, nobody knew about it, black people, white people, anybody. But it is a well-deserved holiday, and I'll tell you, neither one of you guys were alive in the 50s in
You're
Montgomery,
right.
Alabama.
2021, Red Top. 2021.
Yeah. You guys did not see what I saw in the 50s in Alabama. It was horrifying what black people lived in and how they were treated. They didn't even have sewage in these black neighborhoods in Montgomery. These our maid had an outhouse.
So
they
did my
treated
dad.
people like that.
Oh.
Yeah, but we're talking when the rest of the neighborhood, all the white neighbors have sewage. They didn't even run it in the black neighborhoods in the 50s.
Wow.
It was horrifying. So they deserve finally a national holiday. I think that is one well-deserved. Now, let me talk real quick about slavery and how it did not become illegal just because the president makes an executive order or Congress passes something. Did you realize unless they pass a law that makes it something an offense, it goes on? And that's what happened with slavery. They didn't pass a law against slavery for a long time, even in 1905 when Alabama was caught in peonism. You know what peonism is?
I do not. Tell me what. P is in...
Peonism, I do believe. I saw an hour-long documentary yesterday on it that surprised me. What they were doing was finding young black men and women that looked healthy,
Okay.
and they would go around and arrest them for crimes they didn't commit. They had a DA at the courthouse who had affidavits already written out against these people. They would get convicted of crimes and sent to prison farms.
Now, when was this supposed to have happened?
They were caught in Alabama in 1905.
And what's the name of this term? Spell it again.
Peonism.
Okay, I'm trying to find it. I thought I would have
that's
heard of that
okay.
before.
It's
I
kind
had
of a
never heard
loophole
of
in
it
the
either.
13th Amendment that allowed, it's like prison work farms. Okay?
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
but Red Top's saying they were sending innocent people to the prison
Oh,
workforce.
well, I don't, that's.
Up to 40,000 in the South. And they were caught in Alabama. And let me tell you, at that time, after the Civil War, America became a great power because of the South. Just like that, America was a great power because of the South before the Civil War because of our agriculture and resources. And Sky's probably glad to hear me say that.
Yes, thank you.
I thought you would be, Sky. Don't I know you will?
Yes, yes.
And so that really continued in a under the table way. So finally somebody called it out, and it was first exposed in Alabama. They found a court clerk that was admitted to doing it. And so they started prosecuting these guys, and they realized it was going on all over, and that if they prosecuted all these people, the industries would collapse in the South. That's how many people they had on these prison farms. So Roosevelt was given the opportunity to straighten it out, and he declined it. So it went on again for a while.
Did you watch
So,
this on PBS?
Pardon me?
Did you watch this on public television?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was good.
Because I'm
It was
trying to
good.
find it.
And, well, you can, and I was kind of surprised because I didn't realize how. graphic and
Look,
how much it went on.
I have been taught and learned of so much stuff, but I've never heard people being falsely accused and sent to the. Now I knew that Birmingham had been built. A lot of it was built by prison labor, and they were basically shopping out all the prison labor to the private industries so that they could basically have slave labor. Now,
Yeah.
I do think that occurred, but I'd never heard of them just rounding up innocent people and sending them to work/prison farms. But again, you have to remember that prison is full of innocent people. Is what they say.
These peoples were all black. How come there were no white people on those farms?
Oh, I'm sure they
There
were
were no white
they were
criminals?
exploiting. I don't know if there were no white people in the prison workforces, though. I don't know about that.
Well, let me tell you, they showed a lot of them, and they had some ancestors.
Yeah.
They interviewed some ancestors who had the paperwork, dude, from when this happened.
All
So
right,
they're really-
here is what.
Okay.
And wait. And you tell me where you think this idea came from. I'll give Sky one choice, too. We got to
Okay.
go in 1 minute,
I'm in.
right? 1
Yep,
minute.
1 minute. Yes, sir.
Many black Americans were trapped in a cycle of I'll take out the word agriculture, forced labor through systems like sharecropping. Landowners would manipulate accounts to keep workers in perpetual debt. Have we talked about this on this show before?
Yes, we have, and it's not just a Southern thing.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Where did you think they got this idea? The state would then criminalize quitting the job or trying to pay off the debt elsewhere, forcing the debtor to work, many times on a prison farm or for a private entity, until the arbitrary debt was paid. Now, where did that come from?
The old company store up in the mercantilist north.
That's
is
exactly
where it came
right.
from.
And so then after
Well,
the
it
war,
probably-
where did we get a lot of the people who came down here and helped us?
Known as carpetbaggers.
And they came down and took a bunch of people's land and took a bunch of people's farms and instituted the very systems. Now, I'm not saying no Southerners. The Southerners didn't do it.
It was the Yankee form of slave labor. The plain and simple. That's
I just want people to understand that what we're talking about here was the system that was being used against everyone, everywhere. And in the South, yes, it was used against black Americans, and I apologize
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
It was terrible.
And,
But it's not like we
this
made
has
it
been
up,
going
Red
on
Top.
no, we didn't create that one.
Well, I got one of the.
Hey, and you're right.
It's
It's called peonage.
Espionage.
peonage.
That's
Okay,
it.
and yeah.
Very good. No, very good.
And that surprised me. Yesterday was the first time I ever heard of it, guys.
Yeah.
But
We got to take a break.
Guys.
Stick with us, Red Top, because I'm enjoying you telling about stuff, and we'll be back on the other side.
To Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Again, everybody, let's get back to Red Top, give him the final word. We got a bunch of people waiting on the line. Red Top, I wanted you to be able to wrap up, and thank you for your call.
Yes. I just want to remind people how bad it was in the 50s. And let me tell you what happened in 1958, and I can verify this with my being there.
Okay.
It was my brother's birthday party, May 27th, and he would have been turning 7.
Okay.
So my mother invited not only my piano teacher and all her kids and all of us, which the piano teacher lived right behind us, as well as our maid's family to the house for the birthday party.
Your maid's family, Red Top?
That's right.
Okay.
1958.
Gotcha.
My mother converted them all to Catholic, and they were Southern Baptist. Was she a good missionary or right?
She made them become Catholic so they could keep their jobs?
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about the 50s being oppressive and terrible. I'm sorry.
I said she converted.
Oh, I'm sorry. You cut
Catholicism.
out for a little bit. It got garbled.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So what happens? The neighbors call the police because there's black and white kids playing together in our backyard.
Really?
Damn
What
sure
were
did.
what were you doing to make them call the police, Red Top? I don't
We
think it
were
was.
having a buddy. We were having a birthday party with cake and ice cream.
Really?
This is true. This
Hey,
is how
let me ask you
disgusting-
this. So that was 1958. So
Yes, sir.
year after next, that will be 70 years ago, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So if
Okay.
are things better?
Let me finish.
I'm sorry. I don't have. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So we get a knock on the door. It's the Montgomery police. My mother goes to the door. My daddy's at the store running the store. My mother goes to the door. It's the Montgomery police saying, "You've got black children in your backyard." And my mother goes, "Yeah?" She said, "Why?" She goes, "It's none of your business." She was really pissed off. Strong, redheaded, curly redheaded lady. She is Red Top Mama times 10.
All right.
And that cop gets his butt chewed out. She says, "You get out of here right now. It's none of your damn business who I have in my backyard playing. Get out of here."
You got it. Hey,
She
thanks, Red
yelled at
Top.
that policeman.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can, but I got lots of folks to go to. I get the story.
Okay.
Give me a
The story is she ran the cops off. She won. She went and chewed out the neighbor that called the cops. That neighbor really got a chewing out. So
Good
that's
deal.
what happened. Y'all have a great weekend. Be careful. Don't drive across the water. Go USA in that soccer match. Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you, Red Top. Have a great weekend. Let's go to Eric the Dog. Eric the Dog, welcome to the program.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo está, Eric the Dog? How are you, buddy? Welcome.
Estoy un poco racista hoy, güey.
Ah, good. Hey, I
I'm a
saw
little racist
Mexico beat South Korea in soccer last night.
Man, I had some buddies of mine telling me that Korea was good. I was like, them dudes are going to get thumped, man.
And they did.
Stop playing around.
You called it.
Well, they waited till the very
Stop
end
playing.
to try to even do anything. It was one of those play around, wait till the last 2 or 3 minutes and try to score. And they almost did twice, but hey, look, I'm a soccer fan for the next few weeks, and then I'll be back to normal. So how are things going? Where you been?
As long as I keep, man, I've been working. I just I'm out here painting planes at the base again.
Oh, good. So you're back for how long?
Indefinitely. I switched jobs, so when I'm not painting planes, I'm painting cars or writing estimates or something like that. I work at a local company that does auto body.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to get with you and see
Yes, sir.
what kind of deal
Yeah,
you give me to
painting.
paint a truck.
Well,
It doesn't have to be
send me some
great
pictures.
either.
Dad
I
knows
mean,
how to reach me.
okay, good deal.
Yeah, well, if I'm going to do it, it does.
I've seen his work. He's
Yeah, I'm
quite
sure
good.
he's good.
He is.
we
He
don't-
really is.
We don't have posterior or anything around here. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it. We ain't going to half step.
I got you, man.
When is the healing supposed to start again? I am sick of this debate all the time. Yes, times were bad. I get it. Blacks are not the only people that were enslaved. White people were enslaved. Whites are not the only people that own black people. A lot of black people even started that stuff off. I'm just sick of the whole debate, man.
Yeah.
Look, more
Nobody allowed
white
today-
people were enslaved in the history of the world than black people, is my understanding.
That's true.
In the
Well,
history of the world.
That being said, the slave. I mean, there's modern day slavery. I mean, what do you think? Child trafficking, sex trafficking. What do you call those people? You call them sex workers or whatever you want to call them. But a lot of those people are doing that stuff against their will.
Slavery
That
is
is a
alive
slave.
and well
You're
in
performing.
the world.
Absolutely.
It's a fact.
Yeah, no doubt. But we don't want to concentrate on that. We want to look. I get it, but what are you accomplishing other than to make sure you get some indignant, holier than thou look down your nose at me? I don't care. I never owned a slave. I never knew a slave. My family didn't. I mean, and even if they did, shame on them. But I ain't got nothing to do with it, and I can't change it. So
Well, it's over
why?
165
Why?
years ago
And how
for
come-
starters. So,
I mean,
but what does it
and
accomplish?
How about this?
It keeps
how
us
about if
at each other's throats. It keeps people mad and angry, and it keeps them in a constant cycle of victimhood. That's what it accomplishes.
division is the currency of politics, and
Amen.
that is the whole reason that people do this stuff.
You better believe it.
Division, whether it's about money class, race, economic opportunity, job opportunities, where you can be. Look, in Montgomery in the past, probably 5 years ago, I walked into an establishment. I immediately increased the white population of that place by 100%. They told me I needed to leave. I wasn't welcome. Flat out.
Really?
But I was like, I just wanted to shoot some pool. They're like, you need to leave while you still can. I swear to God.
I believe you.
Wow.
And you know what I did?
You left.
I got my ass back in the car and left.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
well, I mean, I'm slow. I ain't stupid.
Well, but here's the other thing, and golly, you're gonna get me in trouble. I know, Eric. But where's the outrage? Okay, look, thousands of people are hearing that story right now. If you had gone to the press, they wouldn't even write a story. No one would care. And that's another one of my problems is that when things like that occur, no one cares because it doesn't matter. It doesn't let them use it to push a certain narrative. And every group of people does stupid things and has biases, and there are racist people in every race.
Of course.
But that's not
Exactly.
what we're fed
100%.
constantly.
I'm over it. I'm like, look, I can get along with anybody. If you put me and anybody in a room that, isn't out just to be a jackass, we'll get along famously.
Yes.
I don't care. And most people don't care regardless of who they are. They don't care. They're trying to make their money, do what they need to do so they can go home and have a life.
Right.
That's it.
That's exactly right.
The politics of this crap are what drives this, and it's a shame because we put these race baiters in office, and that's what they use. That's how they get elected. They divide this group against that group.
Well, let me ask you a question. That's right,
The haves
Eric.
versus the have-nots.
Yep. Let me ask a question. So say the mantra. We got to take a break, Sky?
We're right on top of it.
We're right on top of it. Hey,
Yeah,
Eric,
you
can you
wanna
stick
hold-
with us for a minute? Or do you got to go back?
Sure.
All right, man. We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, Eric the Dog. I want to make sure you got the last word. We're glad you're back in town, though, brother, and hopefully we'll be able to hear from you more often.
I'm working on it.
Good deal. I was going to tell you the story real quick, and then you can finish up.
ahead.
So you look at what happened in the United States. Let's say that people were not given all the opportunities that they could, and they finally are able to start, doing things, starting businesses, engage in society more, entry-level positions, the same things that everybody's had to do, every immigrant class, every class of people, starting kind of on the bottom rung, getting a chance to move ahead, get those businesses going, have all the opportunities. About the time that gets going really, really well, white liberals decide that for them to be virtuous now, they need to bring in illegal aliens from other countries, which cuts off the opportunities for people who are for Americans who are trying to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. And at the same time that they bring illegal aliens in and cut off those opportunities, they do everything in their power to keep some groups under the control of the checks that come from the federal government. Hey, if you start saving any money, you're not going to get this check anymore. If you start getting ahead, you're not going to get this check anymore. And then who gets the blame for being oppressive? Conservatives. When all those policies were done by white liberals.
LBJ.
Yes, absolutely. And the press doesn't tell people that. Our schools don't tell people that. Our radio shows don't tell people that. But it wasn't right-wing Christian conservative white straight guys that said, "Hey, let's cut black Americans off at the knees and bring in millions of foreign workers." It was white liberals who did that.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, I got a bunch of Hispanic friends and acquaintances, and those guys all work in industries where I worked. I worked painting houses, and then it got to where it was hard for me to find a job where I could afford to work painting houses.
Right.
Same thing with painting cars. There's a lot of Hispanics in there in the body shop industry, and they get abused. And I mean, the owners of those companies are sometimes they're being a little frugal with them. Let's say.
Yeah.
And it hurts us.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. The government's doing this. They allow this. The policies that they choose to enforce or not enforce, and how they choose to spend the money that they're taking from us. Yes. They're supplementing this. I mean, they are bringing this about themselves. Yeah. Which really infuriates me because I'm paying taxes so I can have this guy tell me how I should live my life and what I should be doing.
You're paying taxes so that the government can help your competitor undercut your prices so he makes more money and you get put out of business. Yeah. That's what you're paying taxes for. That's what I couldn't understand in the day, why people weren't more angry about it.
Well, I don't think a lot of people understood it. They get there's the facts of the matter, and then there's how you color the matter, so to speak. The politicians are going to say, they're not going to say that what they're doing is wrong. They're going to say, oh, these people aren't giving enough money to help you do all these things that you're wanting to do. Right. You're not providing enough opportunity for this group of people or whatever. Man, I'm tired of that, man.
I know, I agree. Hey, Eric, we got to go, buddy, and then I got a guest at the top of the hour. Thanks. We're glad you're back, man. Have a great weekend.
You too. Happy Father's Day, y'all. Adios.
Hey, same to you. I forgot Father's Day was coming up. Y'all want to stick with us? Walker Larson is going to be with us on the other side. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome into the second half of welcome into the second half of Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I appreciate y'all listening. I appreciate y'all telling people about it. We have this special segment every week or so, and we'll try to do it every weekly. 1819 News has an entity called the Fred and Rita Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal, and they do really, really good work. They're seeking to rebuild the walls of a culture and good society while defending against the attacks of those who seek to corrupt the youth and degrade our civilization. Today we have Walker Larson, who is one of the opinion writers. He was on the show just a few weeks ago. You can find his articles over at 1819 News, and the one I want to talk to him about this week is entitled, What to Do When Good People Disagree, Sky. I thought today would be a great day for that when we have some of the discussions we have. Walker, welcome to the program. I hope you're well, and happy Friday to you.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. There was a time when I saw an article with the title that yours has this week. I'd be like, yeah, I'm not looking at that. But really, this time it really kind of struck a chord because we are so divided as a nation, divided as people. I think social media is driving a little bit of it, and some of the folks on our side, and I think it's a positive, have begun to say, you know what, I'm just tired of it. I'm just not taking it all the time. I've been, I just kind of ignore folks, and I'm ready to tell them off from time to time. But I think sometimes we take it a little too far. We begin to really dislike the people that we disagree with, and you make some really good points in this article. And so just tell us a little bit about where you're going with it, what your purpose is, and I really appreciate what you wrote.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yes, I agree with you that this can become an issue. Clearly, the nation is divided. I don't think that's news to anybody at this point. I actually found some interesting statistics on that. According to Pew Research, in 2022, so that's a few years ago now, but I think it still would reflect the trend still. But in 2022, 72% of Republicans and 63% of Democrats viewed the opposing party as more immoral than other Americans. And those numbers were up from 47% and 35%, respectively, in 2016. But we do see, I think the numbers bear that out, right? And most of us just know this from, like you said, social media experience and our daily lives, that there's a lot of division.
Mm-hmm.
So the aim of the article, is to address this problem a little bit and just to kind of be practical, for the everyday person who's maybe not, like a big political figure or anything, but just has family or friends whom they love and respect,
mm-hmm.
But don't disagree with. This is a real challenge for families and friends that maybe isn't talked about enough, which is the pain and the difficulty that comes from disagreeing with people on important issues, but you still love and respect these people, right? These are not strangers or
right.
just people you think of as enemies, but they're close to you. And so how do you navigate that? And Of course, I don't have all the answers to that, but I tried to present a few ideas in the article to address that. So that was the general aim of it.
Yeah, sometimes I want to look, and I don't mean to make this divisive, but sometimes I think that the folks on our side are more the conservative side. I would argue the conservative Christian, at least traditional side, who just want to be left alone and basically want to live a peaceful life. We seem to be bothered more by these family splits than maybe the folks. And look, this may be, you may tell me, hey, that's because that's one of your biases, Scott. You just think that it doesn't bother them. I feel like I'm more upset about it when there's a family squabble or a family disagreement and it bothers me. And I'm like, well, man, I don't know. I hope next holiday we can get along and have a good, good day and a good time. And I wish they weren't angry. And then I feel like they don't even think about it again. They've expressed their opinion. They're mad. They hate everybody. They don't want to talk to the family anymore. And they're just done. And then I'm over here. I'm the only one bothered by it.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, it's hard to know for sure without talking more in detail to those people and let's say on the other side. But I mean, it would make sense insofar as on the conservative side, we really strongly prize family and family relationships and community. Right? These are values that we're trying to defend, and so it's going to hit maybe harder for us when those things are disrupted by disagreements and divisions. At the same time, I'm sure there are people on let's say the other side of these issues who are also troubled and hurt by the division. I don't think ultimately that anybody. Maybe I'm being too naive here.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to make a sweeping statement, and I don't know that anybody, let's say of your average American citizen anyway, is going to relish division. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But I think at least most of us.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I think most of us would prefer if we could agree on important issues and could not have our relationships disrupted by it.
Yeah, I think they probably reach a radicalized level. I mean, there's people that we know, we're friends with, family members who we love, who they just lean to the left. And you kind of you bring it up. I think your second point is people who have just good intentions, and they want what is good, but they sometimes reach that radical level where they find out, oh, well, Scott voted for Donald Trump, and I just can't take that. And so they just lay everything that they hate about Donald Trump on me or on you or on the family.
Sure.
And they're like, I can't even be over there. They're all racist. They're all homophobes. They're all this. They're all that. They're all Nazis. They're all, And I think they reach that point where anybody who disagrees at all is just the enemy to the nth degree. But you make a point about the good intentions, and I am guilty of not realizing or remembering that. Yes, they just want people to. I remember a family member of mine who said, "I just want people to be happy."
Sure.
And so I had to follow it up with, well, how exactly is this policy that's going to lead to destruction? How is anybody going to be happy when they get here? And what was funny is they had never considered that what they were supporting, just wanting people to be happy, would never work in the real world. And they did have to admit a little bit of that, but their heart was in the right place. I mean, I guess technically it was in the right place. So you make a good point with that.
Yeah, I think that's something to be emphasized when possible, right? Which is that it's so easy to demonize the opposition, and to think of them as, to hurl epithets and to think of them as ill-intentioned. Now, I'm not saying that nobody in either party or either side or whatever is ever ill-intentioned. I'm sure that does happen, but there's many people, I would hope the majority, that have good intentions. They, like you said, their heart's in the right place. They just maybe are not recognizing the reality of the situation, or their means of achieving a good goal is mistaken. So I think the example I use in the article is about like the LGBT. I don't know what all those different letters are now, but the LGBT issue. I strongly disagree with that activist movement and this idea of like LGBT rights or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But I do recognize that a lot of people who support that are doing it out of a sense of compassion. They're doing it out of what they think is a sense of love, right? Like, I just love these people. I want them to be able to express themselves and so on.
Right.
So where we differ, I hope I also love those people, but I don't think that it's in their best interest to express themselves in that way and to be, let's say, coddled in that way.
Yeah.
And so the difference is not maybe so much about our perception of that community of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the application, right? It's like, how do we actually best help these people?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it helps them.
Right. And
Go
my
ahead.
experience has been with the folks who are, quote unquote, allied, at least in the South. They have been taught, and in their mind, they have filtered it in their mind. I'm purely just watching out for these people to be able to live and love who they want, and so,
Right.
and then when you say, wait, okay, I'm for that, I'm fine, I'm great. I don't think it's a smart thing. I don't think it's best for them. I don't think it's great spiritually, the whole 9 yards. But can you at least agree to draw the line of let's not teach these things in school, let's not advocate
Right.
it using taxpayer money, et cetera, et cetera. Most times people are like, yeah, I'm not for that. So they're really over here arguing and fighting for something that we arguably can somewhat agree with, but
Right.
they don't realize sometimes that the movement is for something much more radicalized than what they're trying to protect. And I don't know if that's an educational thing or what, but can you stick with us? We've got to take a break, Walker, and
Sure.
can you stick with us one more segment? Fantastic. Walker Larson is with me. He's part of the whole effort at 1819 News that is the Fred and Rita Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal. Very interesting conversation. We'll have him back on the other side. We'll be right back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
We are back, everybody. Walker Larson is with me. He writes articles that you can find over at 1819 News. He's part of the whole effort behind the Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal, and you can go find that at 1819news.com. One of the opinion pieces, the one we're talking about this week, is what to do when good people disagree. Walker, I appreciate you staying over. I had one more question, then I want to give you the last word on your article, and I do encourage people to go read it. One of the things that stuck out that you said was practice humility. The first step, of course, requires that we acknowledge that our position can be wrong. You're killing me. You're killing me, Walker. or at the very least, regarding some of the details. Recognize the complexity of truth. Very often people on different sides of an issue both have valid points. And I wanted to let you kind of expand on that, because when I get in that argument with a liberal kind of person, there have been times when I've done the right thing and said, okay, where is that common ground? What is it you're actually trying to get to? And we've been able to come to an agreement. But so what advice do you have for us on that one?
Well, I mean, I think you laid it out well there. You know, the attempt to start with common ground. Now, and we have to remember, this is not an indication that we're going to just say everyone's right. You know, it's not a call for relativism or to just say, oh, we just all have our opinion and that's fine. Not at all. But if you're ever going to build consensus, if you're ever going to bring people to more truth, you know, you do have to start with where they are. You have to start with the common ground and try to really, truly listen, truly respect them as a person, even if you can't necessarily respect all their ideas. You can listen, you know, in a polite way, and try to get at, as you put it, you know, that the core of what they're trying to say. And you may find, if you give them time, if you give them space, and you don't just start cutting them off and you know, hurling attacks, you may find that, okay, there's actually something there. Now, that isn't to say that they're right or that everyone's opinion is equally valid, but truth is complicated. There's different angles to approach it, and oftentimes we can find some of those angles on which we agree. And, you know, a good example was in our last segment when we were talking about, you know, like the LGBT issue and how we can at least agree with our opponents that we want what is best for those people and we want what is best for our children. Right? All of us can agree on that.
Right.
So even if it's something as basic as that is still something to build on, and that's a place to begin. You know, and I think also part of the benefit there is not only are you able to establish possible points of agreement here and there, but also you are showing the other person that you respect them and you are willing to hear what they have to say. Like let them, you know, give it their best shot, and that can be really hard when, you know, especially when the other person is not giving you that same favor. You know, maybe they're just trying to bulldoze you, and that can be really hard. But I think your only hope really of getting them to be open to your opinion is if you show that you are willing to listen to them, and there's a chance they'll reciprocate. Then if they feel like, okay, all right, this guy actually, you know, he's actually willing to hear me out, even though he clearly disagrees. He's hearing me out. He's showing me respect. He's not getting angry. I guess I'll show him the same courtesy. And then maybe you have an opening to actually express your opinion in a way that has a chance of being heard. Because if both sides are just devolving into insults and anger and, frankly, a lot of defensiveness, and I think there's a lot of insecurity oftentimes behind it, if both sides are just devolving into that, then you're not hearing each other. You know, you're not going to persuade them.
No, I agree. And unfortunately, I do think we're becoming so divided beyond what's in your article that there are some people that they're just, this is my words, not yours, Walker, they're just Marxist pagans, and they're anti everything that is the truth. And but at least treating people the way that you're recommending in this article might plant a seed where that maybe a week later they go, I don't know, maybe Walker or Scott have a point right there, and that's a positive. If we can make that happen, we've made some progress.
Yeah, well, and it's also potentially going to undermine some of their assumptions about you. So if this, let's say, this radical kind of person on the left or whatever has a preconceived idea that conservatives are all, I don't know, closed-minded bigots or something, or
right,
cruel and inhumane or whatever. Well, if they encounter you and you're courteous and you actually hear them out, even though maybe they're not being particularly courteous to you, that's going to cause some cognitive dissonance for them, because they're going to be like, wow, that person did not fit my presupposition about what conservatives are like, and that in itself, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's the what happens when some of these real leftist folks end up going to some sort of conservative rally, a Trump rally or whatever, and everybody's nice to them and welcoming, and then they're just shocked because they, number one, what they say they thought was going to happen, like they were going to, be tied up and whipped, doesn't happen. I'm like, well, why did you go there if you thought that was going to really be the case? But, no, you make great points, Walker. I appreciate it, man. Hopefully we can talk again soon. I'll give you the last word before we have to head off.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate the chance to come on the show and talk about this. It's an issue that I think is worth further reflection. And my piece is to kind of help advance the conversation. It's certainly not a definitive answer to these things, because it's not easy. Because we have to find a balance between integrity and defending your positions and holding to the truth, and at the same time being charitable, being humble, and trying to find that common ground. And that's not always an easy line to walk. But I do think we have to remember the real enemy at the end of the day is bad ideas, bad actions, which I don't mean to downplay. But ultimately, people, we hope, can become our allies and are not intrinsically our enemies.
Absolutely. Walker, I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much. Walker Larson, you can find his articles over at 1819 News. He is part of that whole effort by the Fred and Rita Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal. He taught literature and history at a private academy, and his writings appear in places like the Hemingway Review, the Epic Times. His Substack's called The Hazelnut. He's also the author of 2 novels, Hologram and Song of Spheres. So we appreciate him and the Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal. We got to take a break. Can we take it a tad early, Sky?
We certainly can.
And we will be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. That was a good conversation with Walker.
Yeah.
Just to calm me down a little bit. And
Humility.
well, there are people. Here I am
That's
defending
right.
myself. There are people that are just difficult to talk to. They
Yes.
are so indoctrinated that you can't discuss. You see these. You see a great example is because we think when someone sees the truth, they would be like, "Oh man, you got me. My bad." So you find these people that go out and do these man on the street interviews, and they'll find it's usually the white liberal woman. I'm sorry.
I've noticed it.
And
It's
they're
true.
like, "Hey, did you see where the president said that we need to bomb Iran into the Stone Age and they're terrible and it's awful and they need to be destroyed?" And the person will be like, "Yes, that is awful. I hate him. He hates everybody. All he wants to do is be a warmonger. He's awful." "Oh, yeah, did you see where the president said blah, 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 blah?" And they're like, "Gosh almighty, I hate him. Racist, awful." And then usually there's a lady that does it, a lot of them, good ones. And she says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, that was Hillary Clinton in 2020, and that was Barack Obama, and then that was Joe Biden." And
Wait
then
a
the
minute.
lady she's talking to is like, "You could just F off. I can't believe you did that to me." And she just loses her mind. Instead of saying, "Oh, wow, I didn't
realize that.
Yeah, they're so embedded that even when they're wrong, they can't. You can't deal with it.
Well, the response is violence and anger.
Yeah, and so those
It's not
people.
thoughtfulness.
Right.
It's not a response. It's a reaction.
And
an
what I
immediate-
tell myself is that the lady doing the man on the street interviews
Mm-hmm.
probably had 10 other people who were like, "Dang, really?" And probably had the right human reaction to, "I didn't realize that." It's no different than our discussion that we have. And yes, people are like, "Why do y'all do that all the time?" Because I'm proud of being a Southerner. But when you tell someone about what Abraham Lincoln said or what was said in the New York Times about the Civil War over and over and over, and people are like, "I don't want to hear it. You're terrible." They just don't want to hear the truth. And it's hard to help those people. But most human beings take it like, "Well, dang, I didn't know that." That's how I got to some of the positions I have now, by going, "I didn't know that."
Yes,
That
by
bothers
listening.
me. And I
By
might
listening.
I might be cutting the grass a week later. That's why I said that to Walker. It might be a week later I'm cutting the grass and it occurs to me, Sky said, he was wrong. But what? Wait a minute. Well, that part's probably not wrong. And I'm just still mowing, I'm like, well, that actually. And then by the end of it, I'm like, dang it. I might have to reevaluate what I think. Now, I don't know how many leftists actually do that, but I do think most Americans are they're open to the truth, and they haven't locked their brain away so tight that they're just not going to listen.
Well, that's just it. That's how we grow as a human being is
Right.
by listening, evaluating, and thinking through. That used to be what university was all about. For one thing.
Well, yeah,
Was, new ideas. But as we've become more controlled and certain groups have taken over,
We get less and less of that.
Yeah, and that just is a testament to these ideas will not hold up to investigation.
Yeah.
So they must be defended without words, instead with actions.
Yeah. Well, that's why social media companies, that's why small groups of people want to be in charge of all the information so that you can't easily find the other side. It's the example, and I'm going to have one in a minute after we talk to Duke.
Oh, yeah, Duke.
That I think you'll be a little bit surprised by, going back to an earlier conversation that we had with Eric the dog. Duke, welcome to the program. Happy Friday to you. I hope you're doing well, my friend.
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. It's a good day. It's not sunny, but hopefully this rain will get out of here.
I know, man. It's rain. I just tell you, boy.
Yeah, I mean, we went through all those weeks in the springtime with no rain, and now we're making up for it in a few days.
But I'm sitting there listening to you.
Mhm.
You know what's important in life, though? We gotta treat things like you do at a train crossing. Stop, look, and listen. See, and you were saying something a while ago about some folks just come in and run in the mouth and don't want to hear what you got to say. I'm going to use a great example. There was an individual on Meet the Press a couple weeks ago that just, he just jumped up and stormed out of there, you know. Is that a good example, sir?
Depends. It depends what was being said. I mean, there's, you know, I don't know which person you're talking about. I think I can guess who you're talking about, but I have been in an interview before, dude, where I should have cut that interview off as well. But you know what I did? I did the I'm a nice guy. I'm a good guy. I'm going to sit here and take it. And then when the interview came out, whether it was on television or wherever, I'm like, for the love of Pete. I was so respectful. All that's cut out. I made this good point. All that's cut out. And the whole purpose was to just destroy me. And if I had been intelligent, I would have got up and walked out. But I didn't know any better, and they took advantage of me.
Don't laugh at that because you're reaching right now, sir.
Why?
But we're going to move on, though.
Okay.
That was a good reach right there.
Oh, you thought that was a good deflection?
Yes,
okay. Well, thank you.
See, that's what we're talking about, see? And where can I begin? Slaves, y'all talking about slaves earlier.
Yeah.
That's been a while. That's been a while back. Y'all going for a minute here. Then you talk about people. This country is so divided.
It is divided.
You know?
No, I mean, look, the South is not near as divided as the rest of the country. But because most people in the South have a Christian ethic that they were taught by their parents, and we all really try hard to get along.
Okay, that's where I wanted to tie Christianity into this thing. We'll let you mention that.
Okay.
Isn't every individual in this world, on this earth, responsible for themselves?
They are, yes.
As an adult, once you become a certain age, I would say, once you're an adult, aren't you responsible for yourself and your way of thinking and decisions you make and how you feel about people and
yes.
your relationship with God, and you try to live that best of your ability to be like Jesus, as that saying used to say. How that saying used to say? What would Jesus do?
Yep.
We don't get that anymore. We get escape type comments saying that, we are so divided.
Okay.
No, you got to look in the mirror. You're dividing yourself because you choose to join the crowd that's saying that we are so divided.
Yeah.
It's an individual choice.
But
I can say personally for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can say personally for myself, there's not one white person that I hate. I met Scott, okay? Me and Scott went through similar things together, and we both reached out to each other during our time, didn't we, Scott?
Absolutely, yes. Sure.
I didn't see color.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want Scott to be my slave.
I'd make a crummy one.
He's terrible at cutting grass. He doesn't like manual labor. I mean, it's just not worth it, dude.
But when I hear people say that we're so divided, no, you're dividing yourself because you choose to think that way right now. I'd never say that we're divided. We are divided because as a society, we're looking at people dividing themselves. But I can't say I'm part of your division. Okay. I can never hate anyone.
Yeah.
I think Duke, what Scott was driving at was more of there are the powers that be want to divide us. I think was maybe
But you got many people falling into that.
Absolutely. Yes. That's why we must resist. That's why we must resist and find that common ground and be willing to listen to one another.
But if no one is ringing the alarm that says, "Hey, look, they're dividing us," then how do you fight back if no one's saying, "Hey, this is what they're doing"? They're clearly doing it.
Yeah, that's when your Christian heart would tell your neighbor, the one who talking this crap, to hey, to meet these people and talk to them and y'all have a conversation and like my boy said, your guy that you had on
Walker.
Yes.
Said that. Yes, we gotta listen to each other.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Your side always not right. My side always not right. Okay?
That's right.
So, as a person, as a human being, at the end of the day, let's take politics out of all of it. You know.
Amen.
When last time you visited a black person home? When last time you visited a white person home?
Mm-hmm.
And that you call your friend?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's where you start right there. Associating yourself with people that you don't like. Get to know them first. Then you can form an opinion after a while. I always heard all my life that don't judge. No, don't prejudge anyone. Get to know them first. Then you can form an opinion. And a part of the definition of getting to know somebody is making a judgment call about them.
Fair enough, dude.
Huh?
What I don't get is I didn't know I wasn't saying almost the exact same thing, other than I was pointing out that we are divided, that there are people who purposefully divide us. I would say Barack Obama was one of those people. Would you agree to that?
No, he's not.
You think Barack Obama was a uniter?
I could say that. I could say that about the one we got in the White House.
I didn't ask you about the one we got in the White House. I wanted to know if you thought Barack Obama divided us, because you think Donald Trump divides us.
No, he did not, because it goes back to your, like I just said.
Mm-hmm.
You make a choice to let him divide you. Okay?
Oh.
If you choose to let him divide you, or give you that old bitterness in you, saying that, oh, he always talks about white.
Was he trying to divide Americans, whether I let him or not?
I don't know what his plan was,
right,
or whatever. But the white Americans, damn near some of them damn near jumped off cliffs when he was reelected the second term around. You know, saying we need to get that N word out of our house.
Now, who did you hear say that?
It came out of certain states, southern states.
Yeah, I never heard that. I heard people saying that. Oh, surely somebody must have said that, but I didn't hear anybody say it.
Matter of fact, it came out of some college campus.
Some college kid said it.
The college white kids said that. Yes, it was recorded. I can find the video and send it to you.
Yeah, I'm sure there was one person who said it, no doubt about it.
My point I wanted to make last week, this guy that
Carmelo Anthony?
Yes. I didn't pay attention to this case until the last few days.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know, the whole time I was thinking, what's the basketball player? You know, I didn't know anything about this case too much, okay? Yep. I was wondering why everybody was drawn to that case. I mean, we had
we're gonna have to continue this on the other side.
We got to take a break. We got a lot of people too. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
All right, third half of the program. Thanks for listening. Don't forget the number, 1-800-289-9228, 1-800-289-9228. I can't believe the Friday is almost gone. The week is almost gone. Let's get our World Cup update from Rocontour. Welcome to the program. I hope you are well, my friend. Thank you for your patience.
Good morning, gentlemen, and happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth to you.
Which may be the quickest holiday ever approved by the government.
They did not debate it. Let's put it that way.
The Senate passed it on June the 15th of 2021. The House passed it on the 16th. Joe Biden signed it on the 17th. And my friends in the military in the state got emails saying, hey, tomorrow's a holiday on the 18th.
No way.
Look it up.
Did you know? All right, look, I'll tell you one other thing, a little controversial that bothers me. You know how there's a lot of people saying, well, I don't want to celebrate July the 4th because that's, quote, your Independence Day or y'all's Independence Day. Did you know the official name for Juneteenth is Juneteenth National Independence Day? That's what those clowns passed, was calling it Juneteenth National Independence Day. So we technically do have two Independence Days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, then, in the spirit of reconciliation, let me reach out to my liberal friends and ask if I'm allowed to celebrate Juneteenth as well, because my original ancestor to the Americas was an indentured servant brought to Jamestown about the same time the first group of black slaves were brought to Virginia by the English. So can I participate?
No, because we're not going to count calling indentured servants, even if they were slaves. That doesn't count. Nope. Doesn't count. You had a different. The definition was different. It doesn't matter what their life was like. The definition was different.
But he wasn't freed until his master died. Literally.
That's what I'm. Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. Sky and I had a off-air conversation from when Red Top was talking about the term peonage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did my search for, hey, did they have peonage up north? And it absolutely says no, absolutely not. That was a Southern thing. So I go on down to AI and I said, so then what did they call it when blank occurred? And they have three names. So Goofy AI told me, oh no, they didn't do that. And then when you press it on him, he says, well, yeah, there was like three different versions. And you know what it is? Remember that song? Was it 16 tons? And what do you get?
Ernie Ford.
Yes. That's the example they used, by the way.
But you literally had to cross-examine AI to get the truth out of it.
Yes, you did. Right. All the little high school kids and the junior high kids wrote a paper that said, no, this only happened in the South.
Shocking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No joke. So tell me about, I watched a little international soccer last night, Rock on Tour, a little bit of South Korea versus Mexico.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example of why you don't play for a tie just to get out of the group phase. One mistake by the goalkeeper, and it's over. They have a loss, and they're in a must-win situation now with their next match.
Yeah. That was tough. I mean, because he basically was keeping him and the other guy from getting hurt, and then the ball got away from him, and then the Mexican goalkeeper made that great one-handed reach-up save, and I was like, wow, that's strong.
Oh, yeah, that looked like Jorge Campos, a Mexican goalkeeper from way back. Typically, your goalkeepers are 6'4", 6'5", so they can reach.
Yeah.
Jorge Campos was like 5'8", and was like a circus acrobat back there.
It's super quick. So you were telling us a little bit that you predict that the Americans, the Stars and Stripes, will be aggressive, and you also explained to me that a lot of these teams will just wait around, and then try to score at the end. That looked like what South Korea did. Wouldn't it be a better plan to score early and then defend the rest of the game than wait around and just hope you get lucky in the last 4 minutes?
Well, yeah, think about it like a boxing match. You've got boxers who come out and they're just punchers, and then you got boxers who are counter punchers, and they cover up, they take it, and look for their opening and try to strike one blow to knock the other dude out.
Right.
So I think America's going to come out and be a puncher. Australia's going to try to be a counter puncher. And the key to the game, here's your soccer term of the day, counter pressing. So basically what that means is if we have the ball and we turn it over to one of their players, then for the next 5 to 10 seconds, every player on our team plays defense just as hard as they can, try to immediately win the ball back. And if they do that, it catches the other team off guard because they've got the ball. They think they're moving forward. Oh, no, now we're moving backward. Oh, well, I'm not ready to play defense. Oh, you're past me. Oh, you scored. Oh, no.
And that's what we did the other night. Is that right?
That is right.
Okay.
And so so look at, if you can watch the effectiveness of our counter pressing, you will see. I think that's going to determine the game, the outcome of the game.
That's good. That's a good call. Are we supposed to win, or are we not? We're probably not supposed to.
I think technically we were ranked higher in the FIFA ranking, so technically we are supposed to win.
Yeah.
I do think we'll win. Honestly, I think the team that scores the first goal wins.
Really? You think it'll be
Because
like 1-0?
Well, no, not necessarily, but if Australia scores, then they're just going to sit back and soak up the pressure, and we're going to have to attack, and we may make a mistake and give up a second.
Mm-hmm.
If we score first, Australia can't just play defense anymore. They've got to come out, and that's going to open more opportunities for us.
Okay. God, it's a long
Good analysis.
90 minutes is a long time to wait around for somebody to get ready to do something.
Yeah, well, and fun fact, think about this. Compared to American football, wide receivers and defensive backs probably do the most running on a team, and they do that. They maybe put in 1 mile to 2 miles at max.
Yeah.
Average soccer player will run 6 to 8 miles during a 90-minute match.
Yep. They do a lot of running around. No doubt about it.
Oh, and before I go, we have controversy at the World Cup due to fake news.
What happened?
The largest streaming network in Argentina had someone on their live television who got fed fake news in their earpiece and reported to the country that Lionel Messi's father had died and he was going to have to return from the World Cup.
No.
None of it was true. It created huge outrage all over Argentina. She's had to leave in disgrace and go into hiding.
Well, she just reported what somebody told her.
Exactly.
Boy, they
Gotta
take it
get
serious down there.
confirmation before you put it on the air.
We need
Right.
to send some of these other countries a
from her
sport.
producer, Sky.
Do what?
I told Sky that the producer fed it to her.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. That's a problem.
He's the one that should be in trouble then.
Exactly.
You got to watch
And
those
if you wanna talk
producers.
about-
They're slicked one by the goalie there, apparently.
Yeah, you got to think about how passionate they are. There was a match in either Brazil or Argentina where the referee made a bad call that threw a match between two rival teams. The fans were so upset they chased the referee down, caught him, brought him back to the middle of the field, cut his head off, and buried it in the middle of the field.
Man.
You can look that up.
When was this?
This was about 4 years ago, I think.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Whew.
I thought travel basketball was bad.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
No,
Welcome on tour. Thank you, buddy.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Stars and Stripes.
Yes, sir. Stars and
Very good
Stripes.
update there. I actually learned something.
No, that's
about
good. I mean, he's
soccer.
good. He's telling us good stuff.
Well,
we
that
need to
first goal-
export a few more sports to these countries, though. I mean,
Oh,
they
no
need to
doubt.
do something else other than just soccer. You know? I mean, if you're going to
Definitely.
cut.
A little too-
Now, I'm going to confess, I have considered doing that to referees
I think
at
we've
games.
all
But I've
felt
been able to
that way.
hold myself back and thought, probably won't go well for me if I hunt him down, bring him back. What did he say? Decapitate him and buried the
At
head?
midfield. The scene of the crime.
And do you leave him there so that all the future refs, every
I
time
think
they have,
I think they sent a message. Yeah,
golly.
it's brutal.
And what if the poor guy made the right call? Like there's a replay, and they're like, because how many times have we been mad and then like, oh, wow, it did cross the goal, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Wow.
The sixth game of the World Series '85, Don Dinkinger, the famous call against the Cardinals. And I've had thoughts like that.
About,
Dinkinger.
see if you could hunt him down. And
Yeah,
bury
and it was not a bad call.
It wasn't?
No, of course not. The guy was out by a step. And it really was, and it was proven later on, but there was no replay in '85.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, he's still in Cardinals lore.
And he made the right call.
No, he made the bad call.
Oh, he did make
was
the bad
horrible.
call.
It was, I mean, the guy was out by a step.
Did he make any money off of it?
I don't know. I'd like to know, but it cost the Cardinals a World Series.
All right, so before we go to break, I know we got to. Is it time to go? Do we got to go?
It is time to go.
Oh, doggone it. All right, let's take
I was
another
still
one.
in that 40 seconds.
And
man.
we'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering
I
Politician.
was just reading a little bit more of National Independence Day, and it's just annoying. Montgomery College, I don't know where Montgomery College is part of that, the Independence Day argument. That was a real mistake. I don't know if I was in Congress if I would have voted. I might have voted for the holiday, but I don't think I would have. I think I would have had a fit before I did National Independence Day, because you can see the train wreck coming. You can't have two Independence Days in your own country, Sky.
Well, we have two national anthems now, so
That's
added to that divisiveness.
It's just
separation.
It's really insanity. Of course, it's Joe Biden. So, what do you expect? I mean, we had some crazy times in the United States. Let's get out of these phone calls. What's the order on these guys? You want to go?
Clint Jr. is up.
Clint Jr., welcome to the program. I hope you are well.
I am, sir.
What's up, buddy?
Your conversation earlier about the slavery.
Yes, sir.
And it's funny how nobody today was involved in that on either side.
Correct.
400 years is horrible. But back in the day, how long was Europe and Greece and all those countries over there, how long would they have been enslaved? Can you take a guess? I looked it up.
Some of those folks, there's been slavery still. I mean, I don't know. How long?
2,500 years.
That's pretty much recorded history, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's been every race of every kind of person on the earth has been enslaved at one point or another. We can learn from the past and make a better future, or we can dwell on the past and be a victim.
Woo.
Good point.
Say it again. Yeah.
Good point. You better drop the mic.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, buddy.
Man.
Appreciate
Good
you.
call. That was concise and to the point.
So why do we say 400 years?
1,600 something.
Okay, do the math.
Yeah.
You know what the real number was?
What is the real number?
246 years.
Sounds more plausible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
to
knowing what I know
to
about
make
history.
400 years, you have to add after the Civil War. Which means
Yeah.
they were the folks who can't leave anything alone, keep kicking over the ant bed, but you say picking the scab, just decided to run it all the way up to, day before yesterday. It was 246 years. Started in 1619. Remember the 1619 project?
I do.
And ended in 1865.
That's it.
And even if you add 100 years and go to 1965,
Still don't have it.
you're at 350 years.
So it's
So what they were
Current.
doing was they were saying slavery has been in effect in the land that is now called the United States for 400 years, and they were literally saying it goes on all the way to today. That's what they were doing just a few years back when we all learned 400 years. And it only occurred to me earlier this week, somebody said something or read something that said 400, and I was like, I carry the one. How is that for 18? And that's what led me to, it was
Well, it's-
246 years.
Yeah, it's clearly just a rounding error, Scott.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, just waiting on me, waiting on somebody to have the courage to say, because where are all the people who said when people were all out, mostly white liberals, were all out saying 400 years, 400 years, 400 years, 400 years. Where was the radio host? Where was the television guy? Where was the speaker who said, shut up? We're not at 400 years. Where were they? Because that was the opportunity to point out, hey, you folks will stretch the truth for your own gain.
Well, in lieu of, in light of the latest revelations from the SPLC promoting racism, a far left-wing anti-hate organization, we know what we've suspected all along. There's a lot of people on the left that want racial strife.
Well, that's why there's so many hoaxes when it comes to things spray painted on churches, it's spray painted on the bathrooms at a university. I mean, over and over and over and over and over, it ends up being the very person who said, "I can't believe it, I'm so appalled."
The takeaway is there's not enough supply of racism to suit these left-wing groups.
Yeah.
They need it. They need it.
The industry can't function. They don't have enough for the industry
racism
to
go around,
feed itself.
so they must manufacture it themselves.
No.
And that is the sad truth.
I agree.
We know it as a fact now. We just don't know how deep it goes.
And I will note that no one seems to care about modern-day slavery.
They don't. There's plenty to if you want to be a fighter, a freedom fighter, there's plenty of opportunity.
I mean, why are we not demanding? Think about this. The Great Britain led the way on ending the slave trade. They used their navy and said, hey, we're going to stop. Now, they did rule the world. I get it. But, I mean, why are the folks here in America not saying, hey, look, use our military to stop slavery everywhere? Why are we not cracking down on sex slavery and the abuse that happens to people today? Why are we not, stamping out the people who are bringing in illegal aliens, indebting them to the farm store or the company store today and treating them like slaves? Why are we not stopping all that?
It's a great question. It's like they don't even care.
Because
there's old-time slavery that ended 165 years ago,
right?
Which is a number one issue. Doesn't exist.
Right.
And then there's actual slavery that is taking place, and there's no interest whatsoever.
Because back to what Duke and I were trying to agree on, the people who divide us, the elites, profited from slavery then, profited from the company store and the scripts laws and all that kind of stuff, which we can get to if we don't run out of time. They profited then, and then they wrapped themselves in virtue and said, see, we're stopping all this. And then they just reinstituted some other thing years later, and then now, it's not a problem. And if we went, I promise you, and if we went and stamped it all out because the people rose up and said, we're not putting up with any of this pedophilia and human trafficking and sacrifice and all the Epstein crap, we're not doing that, the very people doing it would take credit for having stopped it, and we would all have to praise them for the next 100 years again and go, oh, thank you so much for being our valiant leaders.
Yeah, and when they see the writing on the wall that is on the way out, you better believe they're going to jump to the front of the line and become a crusader.
They'll take all the credit. They'll lead the parade, having been the biggest profiteer from it. Let's go out to y'all's phone calls. Who is it, Clark or Charles I?
Charles I's been waiting longer.
Charles I of Dewey. Welcome to the program.
Well, hey, Scott. I'm going to fit right in with what you're saying, and it has to do with memorializing, and it has to do with what you just said. So I'm at home during COVID, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I ain't got much to do except write my core articles. And on there comes this question of should we make statues to the honor of and name the parks after George Floyd?
Okay.
Now, let's just think about that. My dad died in the line of duty from somebody running, and, of course, George Floyd was attempted to be arrested.
Correct.
And I don't like it. Nothing for my dad, and he passes the 25-year Scott Beason that never shown him to do nothing wrong, highest-ranking person, to die in the line of duty.
Correct.
And that's kind of the undercurrent of the whole thing. Who decides memorialize it? Nobody in Alabama did anything about my dad.
Mm-hmm.
A terrible death in the line of duty, 25 years service.
Right.
But I've got these people saying that somebody that was running should have parks and statues named after him.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't got nothing to do with color. It's got to do with the actions there.
Correct.
I mean, are you following me?
No, I'm following you completely.
What I did was I love Paul Harvey, and I wrote an article in the style of Paul Harvey speaking for my dad in this situation. So you should read it. I put it up on Hertzahatchee,
okay.
On Quora,
mm-hmm.
and you're going to love it. And also there's a house like what he was telling you about from the 1940s or whatever's the next picture. Then it's Ann Eubank doing a parade in the middle of Hertzahatchee, and then it's me being then it's Senator Ledlow. So you'll like to see all that, but you're really going to like, and maybe someday near a Father's Day you can read what I wrote in reference to giving someone a memorialization that doesn't deserve it when there's somebody that does.
You got it. Hey, real quick
anyway,
before I let you go, how do I spell Hertzahatchee? With a U, a Z, a S?
Just think it out. Hurts.
Okay.
Hurts. A.
Yeah.
Hatchie, just like the word hatchet. Hatchie.
With a
Two
Y.
E's at the end.
Two E's. Okay.
No,
I would have gone with a Y, but
E's.
Hatchie sounds like a place. Okay. I got you.
Just like you hear it. Hurts Hatchie.
You got it. We got to take a break.
Thanks,
We'll be
Thanks a lot.
right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Check us out over at YouTube. We are following the Joey Clark model. We don't do nearly as good of a job as he does, but we're trying to be on the YouTubes. And y'all find us under Scott Beason, Beason. B as in boy, B as in Bama, B as in the best, B as in big, B as in broke.
Now you got it.
Now we're getting honest with it.
I was waiting on you to hit one right.
Check us out. Click on the live thing. You can also watch older programs. If you say, Scott Beason looks like you're wearing the same thing every day, look real closely. I'm wearing my robe, my commentator's robe, and there's a different T-shirt on every day. But I have a black.
That is your official.
I have a black
here come
robe.
the judge.
Yeah, a
talk
black
show
robe
host.
of wisdom.
Yeah.
Because these black robes make you smarter. Mine was sent by God directly.
I was going to say they're very rare, exclusive.
Oh yeah, you can't just pick
Can't
one
just go
up
out to
down
Walmart.
at the no. I got mine at the thrift store.
See there?
Yeah, I wait till like a federal judge dies and his wife's like, I'm sick of him. Cleans all his stuff out. Go get it at the thrift store.
Check those pockets, by the way.
See if there's any bribe money in there.
You never know.
Mine's actually a golf pullover, but yeah, it serves a purpose. Let's go out to Clark. Clark, welcome to the program. Happy Friday to you. Happy Juneteenth and happy Father's Day and the whole 9 yards.
And happy Gordon Granger Day to you, Scott.
Gordon Granger. Was that the union guy?
Republicans sent to tell the Democrats they had to turn the slaves loose.
Yeah, Gordon Granger.
Juneteenth. Hey, give me a minute and we'll get there. So
we don't have to.
I watched that Obama Center dedication last night as long as I could. Let me tell you what happened. It was a struggle. And then my wife came in the room and she watched it for about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
And she looked at me and she said, honey, watching this is like when those medieval monks would flagellate themselves to get closer to God or something. And, you know, I don't care how much you punish yourself with this, you're not going to get there. And I had to change the channel. But it was horrible. I don't know if you watched it or you just caught clips. The clips don't do it justice.
Well, I heard Clark. It was terrible. Like one of the worst productions ever.
It was. And, you know, here's the thing. I know how prejudiced I am. I don't like communist filth, and that's going to affect my thinking.
Right.
Okay? But the production values were as horrible as that building looks, okay?
Was it really? What do you think happened? I mean, Obama was the darling of the Hollywood community. They could have remember when he had the Greek god
I'll tell you what,
speech?
Tommy John surgery, and he didn't recover well, and he ain't got no fastball, I guess. I don't know. Here's a big question. What did they do to Joe Biden's face? I don't like him much either, but dadgum. That's terrible. Did you see him?
No, I did not see him. Are you sure it's him?
God.
Are you sure it's not a clone? Or was it somebody wearing one of those rubbery masks?
Well, if it's a rubbery mask, they stretch that son of a gun awful tight. And I will say, Barry did a good job of filling in for the Easter Bunny to help him get off the stage. I'm not sure who made the choices on Hillary's wardrobe. That was interesting.
Yeah, she's got some health issues, right? She's got a big old hump and wore like hot clothes. Not like she was good looking, Sky, which has never been accused. She's never been accused of.
She looked like Cousin It from the Addams Family.
Yeah, she wore like she was bundled up in the hot Chicago heat.
Oh, okay.
The hat and glasses, yeah, she looked like it. So I don't know what Mike was so mad about. They wouldn't let Tommy come up there with the big folks on the stage. He had to sit down there with Doug. I never did see.
It's just mean.
Maybe they had abortion wagons parked along the periphery. Maybe they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was going to flip, you didn't build that on him.
Mm-hmm.
No.
He absolutely built it.
I don't want him. You built that, Barry. That's yours. You own that. So there that is. Now, Juneteenth, the day the Republicans forced the Democrats to give up their slaves, how come they didn't go with December the 6th when the 13th Amendment was finally ratified? I've got questions about that.
That's a legitimate question.
That would have made absolute sense, but because it wasn't about that, and people were being forced to bow the knee to the. I personally believe, and y'all don't have to believe me, but the people who are at the tip top of the decision-making process on that thing said, we have so much power right now, we're going to make the Congress and the president capitulate to something that does not make sense. And, you know, someone had to say, why do we not do it for the 13th Amendment? And they said, because we don't have to. We're gonna do this one. And instead of calling it like Emancipation Day, we're going to call it Independence Day to further drive a wedge in the country. That's what I believe. I could be wrong, but it just comes off as it's got to be. Yeah.
Now, you've already started down the road I want to go on. When Gordon Granger showed up in Galveston, How many slaves were there in Texas that needed to be freed? 250,000 is the figure I came up with. How many children did Joe Biden lose? 300,000.
Right.
Scott, guess how many people are human trafficked for labor purposes, forced labor, in the United States every year? Take a guess.
600,000.
1.7 million people annually. You know how much money gets made off of that forced labor? $15.2 billion annually.
You got to be kidding me.
Guess how much money is made off of sex trafficking in the United States annually?
How much?
$9.5 billion. 20% of those are children, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the deal. There's this sex trafficking corridor that runs smack through the state of Alabama, called I-20.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe me, you just use whatever search engine you want and type in I-20 corridor sex trafficking and see what you get.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're talking all today about something that happened 159 years ago. Slavery that ended 159 years ago. We got 1.7 million people per year being trafficked for forced labor. Then you add sex trafficking to that.
Yeah.
And let's see, 15.2 plus 9.5, $24.7 billion a year. So here's my question, Scott.
Okay.
We're not doing very much about this. We're not. Okay?
Right.
Now, is it because most of the people are not the right demographic? Is it because a high percentage of them are female? Or is it because the profits are sufficient to pay off the necessary officials to keep their mouths shut about it? What is it?
Neither one.
What do you say it is?
The necessary officials are involved in it. It's not about just paying off. It is the powerful class is profiting from it. They are running it at the very, very top.
Well, wait a minute. Okay. Let's back up 159 years.
All right, hurry up, though. We got to take a break.
If the profit potential had been there for the northern politicians, would we have had a 13th Amendment?
Very good point. Very good point, Clark. You redeemed yourself. We'll be back.
Very good.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering.
Welcome back into the program. Last break of the day. Last thing, we got to get a lot of stuff in. I did want to point out, I talked about it earlier, that I was fascinated when I went to AI and I asked about the whole peonage program, and it said, "Oh, they weren't doing that up north." And then when I said, "Well, really? Well, what did they call this practice of getting
Most people wouldn't know to do that.
Get you indebted to the store or whatever?" And Rocontour agreed that that's what that whole 16 tons, and what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. And they use the
Peter,
law.
Don't you call me, because I can't go. Oh, my soul.
To the company store.
Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Yeah. So,
great song.
And what they did was, if you didn't pay those debts, then they would imprison you.
Yeah, debtor's prison.
So so they had 2 or 3 different names for it. Another thing that they did was they would pay you with company money. They called it scrip. And the company money was just made up money, and then they would sell you. You could only buy stuff from the company store with the company money, and then you indebted yourself too. They called them plucking stores. Not
in chicken.
Not in
plucking?
effing stores, but they were plucking the money from your pockets. And then you were indebted to the store again. So it's funny, because when I zeroed in on the question that told me that they weren't doing that, the second answer that said, well, they had these things. One of them was also called the trucking scheme, which was derived from a French word like troch or something. I don't even know what that means, but we called it trucking. And it says very similar to peonage. I'm like, oh, wow, why didn't, and I want to talk to AI like it's a person and say, why didn't you say that before? You knew what I was asking. And you said, no. And then in your second answer, you're like, well, it was very similar. And I'm like, oh, really? Surprise, surprise. But so anyway, just
deliberately deflecting you.
Another thing that you might not have known, there was legally enforced peonage in the American Southwest. And became widespread form of unfree labor. You want to know how AI works? Unfree labor, which is slavery.
Wow,
but that's
kidding.
the word.
Come on,
Wikipedia calls it
that
because they don't want to say slave.
Because only the South had
slavery. These people were unfree.
You can't.
They weren't slaves. They were unfree.
Right.
You can't. Okay. It's the loops, the hoops that people have to jump through to maintain their mirage is fascinating. It's like being on social media, when they say, well, I hope they don't unalive them, because you can't say kill,
right?
So you have to say unalived.
It was mostly peaceful forced labor, without pay. I got it. Okay.
It's fascinating.
Sure.
But it was just unfree. And then if you do use slavery, you just call it wage slavery.
Right.
So we paid,
which means they didn't get the room and board for free.
Yeah. That's crazy. People are crazy. Man. They really, really are. Like, so you want to ask somebody, you want to ask your liberal friend, well, which one of these two you like the best? Which one do you prefer? And they're like, oh, I don't. They'll spin their head around, be mad at you, walk off, and just can't take it. Let's go out to Rooster. Rooster might be the last call of the day, of the week.
Yeah.
Rooster, welcome to the program.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, buddy.
Look, I sent you a copy of the Rosenthal interview. Did you get it yet?
It has not made it to me. Did you send it to my email? Because I do not check email, so I'm glad you called and told me.
I sent it snail. I sent snail mail to 1819 News' address.
Oh. Well, look, the guys that keep up with that have not been here for the last couple of days. I don't know if they're off for Juneteenth or what. I'm here by myself in the palatial headquarters. So I'll look for it. If it's coming snail mail, they will get it to me. So I appreciate you, Rooster. Thank you, buddy.
All right, man.
All right, buddy. Thanks you. Hey, that's good. Rooster's following up.
That?
That's fantastic. Couple things for y'all for the weekend. Freedom from Religion Foundation has sent one of their forceful letters to Auburn University because the baseball program had practice pullovers that said Jesus won and had a cross on them. And it is terrible, awful, horrible. And the Freedom from Religion Foundation is making sure that they are speaking up for the students that undoubtedly are afraid to speak out about being representing a religion they are actually not a part of. They are owed an explanation as to why their rights are consistently being sidelined. Now, my knee-jerk reaction is tell them they are number one with a Roman symbol of discontent. But I would also advise the whole, I don't know if I even saw that letter.
That's pretty good.
Somebody might have accidentally thrown that one away.
That looks like a pretty tight team, though. I saw some of the video from that.
I would advise.
They don't seem to be oppressed whatsoever.
You know what I think? I think the little Freedom from Religion people, the FERFs, the little friffies, I think they should come personally and tell those boys what they need to do. Now, not near where the cameras or the administration are. Like, show up on a Friday night somewhere and tell them.
Amen. War Eagle.
Whoa, Eagle. Hey, y'all watch the U.S. team, Stars and Stripes, plays at 2 on Fox. Go America. See y'all.